Hi there, I'm Karen from the Tips team, and today I'm back with another after school tech tip. Today we're going to look at the AI tools involved in Adobe Express. We need to let you know before we get started that we neither endorse nor validate these apps, but rather they are provided as an example for teachers to explore using their professional judgment. Before you decide if you want to use Adobe Express, here are some considerations. First and foremost, data security and privacy. As an adult, you're able to consent to the use of software to achieve your goals. But when it comes to student data, we have an obligation to keep student personal information safe and secure. Make sure to read the privacy policy and terms of use of any tool you use to identify what's collected and how that data is used. To learn more about data security and privacy with EdTech tools, you can check out our other after school tech tips. The tools I'm sharing today have been thoroughly reviewed by the FOIP office, and they're accessible to all staff and students. You can see which tools have been reviewed for privacy and data security by navigating to the EdTech Tools Privacy Review database. You can find it on tips.epsb.ca or by searching Connect using the keywords third-party apps. For this application specifically, we have the all clear, as Adobe Express is considered software of the division. So knowing this, let's take a look at the tool and how we can use it in our classroom. The new tools that are part of Adobe Express are text to image, Generative Fill, and text effects. These AI tools are provided and powered by Adobe Firefly. We've navigated here to new.express.adobe.com. We have the option to enable our cookies, which we know we can do, and we're going to continue with Google. This is the best way to sign on to tools because it shares the least amount of information with the platform, as well as we have security regulations set up so that if something isn't safe for students, we have Google single sign-on turned off. Here I am in Adobe Express. Right away, I can see that there are lots of options for types of content that I can create. I'm going to draw your attention to the generative AI stuff. When I click on the generative AI, a couple options come up. First, what we see to the right is Adobe Generative AI terms. These generative AI user guidelines are in addition to the terms of use and privacy policy. It outlines some additional information about using AI. I want to specifically draw your attention to number 2. We shouldn't be using Adobe's generative AI features, or any other EdTech tool for that matter, to attempt to create, upload, or share abusive or illegal or confidential content, or any content that violates the rights of others. When we click generative AI, the 3 options that we have to use are text to image, generative fill, and text effects. These tools are available when we're editing any kind of image as well within Adobe Express. Each time we navigate to this site, these different prompts and different generated images are available. They change all the time. When we generate an image from text, we can describe people, places, moods, things we want to include, etc., in order to have an image generated by the system. When we roll over these examples, it showcases the prompt that was there. So let's look at this little guy. This is a cute, fluffy blue ball animal eating a banana in a misty, magical forest. If we click on that, we have a chance to play around with that image that was created, or we can create our own from a text prompt. There are many versions that are generated. These results then can be modified. There has some different examples that we can choose or navigate between. At any time, we can edit the prompt and modify what we see. We can also change the content type that's output. We can modify it into being a photo, a graphic, or even art, and then manipulate the styles, different kinds of movement, themes, effects, or techniques. If we click on techniques, we can modify the type of output by selecting doodle. Now we change our prompt, which is a cute, fluffy blue ball animal, eating a banana in a misty magical forest, modified from this type of art to doodle art. Again, further suggestions come up, and we can continue to modify. Editing tools are available along the side that are part of Adobe Express already. Next in our options for AI tools include Generative Fill. This is a process where we can add or remove something from an image. We can upload an image to start, one that we get from the internet, or even one that's from our device. In the examples that Adobe is sharing with us, we can see that this generative fill began as a picture of a forest, and then the purple area is where the paintbrush was painted over for generative fill, and they added a squirrel. Let's see what we can add to the forest. In this generative fill tool, we have a brush, and this brush can change size. If I make it large, I have a prompt, whatever we imagine. So we'll continue with using the prompt that we saw before, a squirrel eating a chestnut. And I would like the squirrel to be right here. Now that I have placed where I want this image to be generated, Adobe Express can create a squirrel eating a chestnut in that area. And there's our squirrel. We could communicate perhaps the species of squirrel and the type if we wanted to, and we have other results available. Back to our generative AI tools. Next, we have text effects. In these text effects, we can apply styles or textures to text with a text prompt. So we have a fiddle leaf fig. Here we have floral hand embroidery pattern, moss. And then the text fills in with whatever pattern we've identified. So let's try. How about we have neon lights? In this case, we have a word. We can identify different styles available and then different results. So here are neon lights filling the word. I can customize it to be a little bit different. I can change the style from realistic to be pencil sketch, neon, etc. Change the tint and then modify some sample effects. So there's lots of options available. Using AI as an assistant and support, we can generate some really cool things. Underneath the images we share, we can appropriately cite how this image was created by including first a caption with the tool used, and then in that caption, the prompt that we submitted to generate this image. So here's an example. In this picture, the citation is image generated using Adobe Express from the prompt, a winter carnival in a northern city in 3050. Thanks for watching today. Join us next week for more videos, subscribe to our channel, and check out tips.epsb.ca. See you next time.